I'm gonna give this from my little comfortable spot because, child, it's comfortable. However, it was like brought to my attention because whoever it is, it's like it's either dream state, doll, or whatever. But it also led me to go ahead and talk about first, like if you've been following for sure, is the fact that all of this stuff when it comes to like the videos, the pictures, or whatever. But the pattern is, it's not one person at all that I dealt with that didn't do the same thing at all. That's why it's like the last person I know for a fact that they did it and participated. So it's like literally some of these people are like, shit, well, let me at least try to help. Because I don't know who got news that they was going to get hit with like when I say some heavy charges, because some of these people didn't realize like them participating. I'm like, y'all Dominican motherfuckers, y'all must have been stupid in a motherfucker to participate in this. Not only will you get in trouble with the fact that it's a racially hate crime, but the biggest part of the situation is it's not only a race charge. It's not only a hate crime. This is a sex crime. That means every fucking body involved, especially if they knew about it and they know how deep that this situation went. Now you gotta get put on the registry, right? But then the biggest part of it is it's like it's a repeated pattern. So I know like with the detectives finally like doing their job after have to tell them how to do their goddamn job, right? This shit is clearly showing everyone, and I'm talking about everyone, every single last one of my baby daddies, the two dumb little fucks that I married, they all did the same thing. So that literally means, but in order to do it, they got it from Carla, Kiera, Shane, Sheila, Pat, and all of them. They all, it's like it's all a repeated pattern. So, like literally, no bullshit. I can say right now, them using my pictures, making fake profiles. They using that shit at least in like 6 states, at least. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. They using that shit in 6 states, and with them using it, it's clearly I'm gonna tell you how the breakdown go. They've been taking the picture ever since like the early 2000s, but even this is included where how Carla and Shane and Kiera and them and Sheila all gonna go down in the worst way. They was using fucking pictures from when I was like 12 or some shit. But then it was like the pictures from when I was 14, and then it was the pictures that I did, when I got older or whatever. When I was a teenager, I want to say it was either before or after birth. So that include, Derek being involved. That includes Omar, Cordero, and all these motherfuckers being involved, right? And they don't realize, like, it's like now it's starting to click to everybody fucking head, like, damn. So that's why when everybody start going real hard, it's like, we're gonna put these cameras in here. I was like, that's why I made it very clear. I said, y'all just don't realize how much danger's on, because it's like, why is this girl not caring? Why would I care when I already know what's going on with me? And y'all not asking me personally what the hell going on, but y'all taking these people words for gold. So not only y'all getting caught up with those crimes, y'all getting caught up for taking the money, taking the bribes, tampering, and then some. So this is a whole bunch of people. I don't give a fuck if these was officials that even allowed it. So they gonna get the charge. They gonna get hit way worse. So that's why everybody like, why she ain't really worried? Why she not bothered? Why I'm not gonna fucking care? Because it's like shit. I might cry about it because shit, it hurt my feelings. It did. But just for a little bit, because once I sat there and was like, damn, Sharita, it's crazy to believe that every single person, even down to the last person, I said they took the pictures, they were making fake profiles, they was putting them on either OnlyFans, Backpage, escort pages. They would make fake. At that time, back in the day, we had what Mahente, Black Planet, IB, MySpace, right? And then now we have Facebook. we got Instagram, now we got TikTok, right? And then the other websites that they've been created in between. So anyone that's for real, that's really clear to me, close to me, no, I don't use all those platforms. Only been between TikTok and here. And the only page that use is the Miss Rita Lotus page that got over 7+ thousand people on there. And then Miss Panthologist, which is the page private right now. And then here on my YouTube, because they didn't hack the other phone and I forgot the passcode, right? So I'm like, anybody using anything outside of that? I ain't been on Facebook. I ain't been on Instagram. I don't use any other fucking platform at all. Shit, I don't even use fucking Twitter. The one time that I went to go look into Twitter, I was just like, something ain't right. And I let it go. Snapchat, I ain't been on that motherfucker. I don't even remember the fucking password for that shit for Snapchat. You see? So it's like whatever little three, I want to say I probably uploaded maybe about 20 pictures on my own accord, Snapchat, when I did have it. But outside of that, if people see other shit on there, it's not me. So this is what made it real fucking funny for me because guess what? Even when I was married to James Taylor, and I knew something he did something wrong, was I kept everybody's papers together. And any man that ever dated me knows that I keep up with all our documents. I keep up, make sure all our money, finances, and everything is okay. Anybody I ever fucking dated, it ain't no man. If he ever went out here in these streets and sit there talking about, and I did this, they lying. Just know they lying right off the strength. Because I was the one that kept up with the documents. I was the one that kept up with the money management. I was the one that kept up with the household. You name it, right? So how I knew, but it was a pattern that they'll be like, oh well, it will. Oh, this is the pattern what the men would do whenever I was dating them. Oh, I need my documents to go look for a job or whatever. So I'll either have it in an envelope, a folder, or a binder or something like that. And I had everybody's stuff about who needed, whether it was birth certificate, passports, social security, all that stuff. It's all together. It's in a binder. So why would I ever think the person I'm sleeping with would ever try to take pictures, take copies of it, or take the whole thing just to go out here and do that? Now, granted, that was the mistake that I made when it came to Luis Ponce Alejandro. But he took that shit because when I married him, I was just going into the army. That was before the army switched over our cat cards. Because y'all remember our old cat cards in the army used to have our pictures, and then they have their pictures. But the information that they needed back in the day, the old military cards, would have our social security on there. It had our rank, and it had where we was assigned and all that shit to. Our old military cards was like that. So that's how Lewis got away with using that shit. And then when it came to Marcus and Irish, we all was in the same unit. Irish had more pool than Marcus, but Marcus had pool because he was just trying to become a Mason when we was all in the military before his ass got caught up with stupid shit. And then when I got with James, every time James did stupid shit, he'll lose certain shit. And he didn't pay attention to that. He didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to go after the money. James would take all of ours, and I'm talking about all of ours, me and the kids stuff, and I'll be like, James, you only need your stuff. Why are you taking the whole binder? But when he will always do it periodically because his memory will be so shit because he will have to tell so many fucking lies that he'll end up taking this stuff with him and be like, oh, I had forgot he had did that shit when he had went down and took baby James with him to fly down to Texas. Because I remember I was looking for all the paperwork and I was looking for my high school diploma. He had stole my high school diploma and took it with him. I don't know if he took it to Texas, Colorado, or when he went up there to Virginia. I'm not 100% sure, but I knew for a fucking fact he was the one that stole my high school diploma because it's like I kept everything together. I was like, how is certain things missing? But this is like, that's where it was like already giving me my intuition around 2017, 2018, like right before, he left officially out the house and that motherfucker left, didn't bother to look back at all. When he slammed that door on my baby girl face and did that shit, that's why I always regret me dropping off them kids June 1st, 2022. Cause it's like I still always have to have that memory in my motherfucking head when it was like my daughter sat there and asked him, cause he will be emotionally fucking abusive and shit towards that and beyond manipulative. Like, yeah, I'm here to see the kids, but he'll just come in because I had the video game system that I bought for them kids to play on. Come over to go play on, act like he was caring for the kids. But then it was like I still remember when we stayed in Peyton off of Anacostia Drive. My baby girl said, Daddy, can you come back and come play with us? Because I wanted it. She was still in the middle of fucking talking. And my baby was starting to inch towards the motherfucking door. He slammed that motherfucking door in my baby face. I said, ever since that day, I lost fucking any type of respect that I have. I was like, he lucky that he walked out of that fucking door. Because it was not only that, it was fucking witnesses in the fucking house when he did that stupid shit. And it was like, are you okay? And it was like they seen so much fucking rage. I was like, "Shorty, calm down. You know, you got some of these white folks in your house. Then you know, AB at that time, baby James was still alive, and he was getting ABA behavior because of his autism and shit. Because they was helping him learn how to use the potty and shit. And everybody, when I say everybody was sitting at the bottom of my motherfucking stairs on that day, I'm seeing people say, "Hey, you okay?" All I had to do was sit there and try to comfort my baby girl. That's some shit I won't ever fucking forget. So I know for a fucking fact if they got my kids there, he ain't around the motherfucking kids at all. I know it. But I also knew that he would steal my stuff from time to time from here and there and take the records, and whoever he was giving it to was somebody to go ahead and try to use my identity or my information at that time to say that they were me because they would need my high school diploma to do whether it was try to get licensed, whether it was trying to, go to school or anything like that. But I knew for a fact James stole it. But it also was a pattern whenever he'll get into like this ornery ass fucking way and he'll be like, I wonder if you get caught out with something like this, and then it was like he'll start doing like hateful shit. I'm talking about, and I would have to literally play sleep because it was like, Sharita, if you get up, you gonna kill him, right? And it was like that was one shit that always played in my mind. I say, Sharita, you know if you get up and you wake up with the fact that this nigga is recording you without your consent, and I'm talking about it'll be times where it was like because I breastfed, so my breasts would be out and certain things like that, and when you after you have a baby. When the down happened and breast, the milk is leaking. James had this real weird ass fucking fetishes where he'll just do certain things after I have the babies. Um, he'll portray like he was really into it. Like I ain't gonna discuss all that, but I knew for a fact that when I caught him before we left Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, Clarksville, he would literally be like I remember I caught him like dead in the act. He just didn't hear me come out the room, and I'm walking up and I was like, "Sweetie, I'm tripping. Is this nigga on a back page or on Craigslist?" Child, I creep up on this motherfucker. He's sitting there looking at big women. You know how like certain women can get like I don't know like those balls or cysts on them and shit like that. And it was just like a whole boatload of big women that had particular ways on their stomach, on their hoo ha, all this shit. I was like, this nigga is he off. So I was like, okay, and it had just brought to me. I was like, instead of trying to degrade this motherfucker, because when he gets too sensitive, it was some frat boys that stayed upstairs from us, and his cousin came over, and his cousin was like, "Now, little man, I don't know what you doing, what you got going on." He called him over, and when he called him over, he was like, "Damn, I'm sitting here with this girl and his brand new newborn. His ass supposed to be down here. This nigga was upstairs getting his motherfucking back blown out." His cousin came downstairs because I was like, "Hey, you might want to go upstairs and try to get him because I don't want to, have to leave the baby because I want to say I had just had Janina." His cousin go upstairs or whatever. Like I knocked on her door. I was like, "Is he here?" It's like, yeah, he'll be back out. I think he went to use the bathroom type shit. Child, I had to send his cousin to go up there and go get him. His cousin came down with this shock ass look on his goddamn face. He was like, bruh, don't call me no more. After they did, and that's when I knew. And then that was the same time his ass went out to the club and he got stomped out by a whole bunch of fucking dudes when she went to go meet his trades and shit like that. Cause like right there and then I knew the motherfucker was gay. But it was just like, you know how you try to give somebody like, okay, we're gonna leave the city. Cause he was like so adamant, like, I gotta leave home. I gotta leave home. Like it was like literally dealing with a little bitty ass kid that act like he ain't never fucking left home. But after he left home, that motherfucker was acting like he was young, wild, and motherfucking free. Couldn't keep no motherfucking job. Didn't want to work. Didn't want to clean. Didn't want to take care of no kids. But then it was just like I don't know who he ended up meeting up with when we was in Colorado. But whoever the fuck he met up with had convinced him to take all of our information and wherever the fuck he went. I know for a fact he gave that motherfucker my information, man or woman. And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about starting this." How I knew he did? He started something via Facebook first. He was like, "How about?" And he was so manipulative, but it was like, "Sure, to go along with it, cause you gotta fucking figure it out." And then when I realized that he was conversating with Kiera and all of them other motherfuckers, cause still to this day, Kiera's gonna sit there and swear up and down, "I wasn't talking with him. I wasn't fucking on him, bitch. Yes, the fuck you was." Because Kiara was the one that gave him the insight about what pictures that she used to do what she was doing, which at that time, like I said, they was all on like Instagram. Well, y'all remember that other app, Marco Polo? That they had made that shit. And Marco Polo was a big one when we was on Fort Campbell. Okay? But it was somebody, it was one of the NCOs, Parnell or somebody, like they just kept looking at me fucking weird. And I'm like, why the fuck are these motherfuckers looking at me weird? And somebody had, I want to say we was out and about. Either we had to go do a PT test or something. And it was like, I heard that you be doing these type of pictures. I said, what the fuck you talking about? And what the fuck did you say? And I feel like at the same time, when they told me it was one of my little white buddies, I ain't gonna say his name. He was like, I heard that you do such and such and this and this. And I was like, I'm like, where you hear that from? He was like, let's just say, little birdies just chirping around here, and it's under the assumption that you do a little bit extra for what it is that you got. I was like, what you mean? He was like, well, shit, considering most of the time at that time when I was on Campbell, I kept my nails and my feet done. That was something that I did every time, every 3 weeks. My nails was filled, my toes had to be fucking done. I didn't give a fuck if I wasn't going too much anywhere. But it was one of the white fucking soldiers that came and told me this shit. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, well, what sites is this? I wasn't hip to, I knew about Backpage due to the simple fact because before Backpage you had fucking Craigslist, and then from Craigslist that was double list and shit like that. I was versed and knew that. I knew you had plenty of fish, but I didn't know about all the other, websites and shit like that. So when he told me that, he bumped into me again. I feel like his unit ended up being where we was at this time. I was in pregnancy PT. So when I was in pregnancy PT, I was just like, he was like, yeah, it seems like you got more post up today. I was like, I got more post up today. But he would never fucking say exactly where it was posted at. So I knew the shit was circulating on Fort Campbell, but I just didn't know where. So, but the biggest part of it is like, who would have pictures of me at this time that would have been able to do that? Then that's when, certain things where James had this habit like, oh, I just want to, have fun. Of course, when you first newly married, it's like, shit, we could keep this between us. But it was like, it'll be one of those, how you putting on some lingerie or something like that, and you newly married, and it's like, oh, let's make this something that we should remember, right? We sure fucking remember. Me not knowing that this hateful ass motherfucker was taking that shit and putting that shit on the internet. He'd be like, see, sure, I did delete it, and then I did delete it. At that time, I hadn't ever been a type of woman to look through no type of man's fucking phone. But I noticed that he got more secretive, and more dirty and conniving with it was when we was in Colorado. And Kiera would have to come get Adrian and Ayana. Now, mind you, at that time, Sheila was not fucking with the rest of my children at all like that. She'll come see all these my grandbaby for the show. Regina, the same thing. Come for the show. Like it was literally a show between the old head lot lizards to the new school flip them, dip them, and throw them type bitch. And they pulled this shit around the time I had end up getting myself impatient because I remember talking to them like, look, I'm trying to get myself, put impatient so I can go ahead and get the help so I can make sure, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was thinking right for a little bit, but it was like I was, but it was just like, I was like, am I going through postpartum? It was just a lot of shit going on, but it was like him cheating and him stealing my information. That was on the last straw because I end up hearing it again when I got to Fort Carson. Now, the one person that they would keep close to me was Missy McFarland. Me and Missy, we was cool, but it was like, shit, I still had a little, where I still had to side eye her, even though she came, to Florida when it was time for baby James' funeral or whatever. I still had my radar up because it was like, even though it was a Missy responsibility, shit, Ryan in the house, him as a man, you should have stepped up as a man. The day that I came over after I had baby Marcus, I had to call somebody dead in the middle of the night because Blanchfield decided to release me. Like it was like 11, like 10 or 11 o'clock at night that they decided to release me from the hospital because they was like, well, we need the hospital bed. Like that was the military for you. I had to call another soldier from a whole different unit just to come get me, to go to this nigga house to go get my car keys and get my son's, car seat and stuff like that. He don't want to open the door. He in there with a different soldier. But instead of Ryan, waking up and being like, hey, Marcus, you need to go outside and go handle this because you bring, heat and trouble to my house and shit like that. They didn't. But then at that time, that's when I knew Marcus Phillips and then the girl Nicole or whatever the fuck her name is was doing some fuck shit too. So I was just like, what the fuck? But then I also knew where like it was other soldiers circulating on the place. It was like, well, you knew Marcus and this person was together. I was like, well, shit, I'm not a person that fuck up anything. But I told him, I was like, look, you begged me to keep this fucking pregnancy. The best that you can do and give that girl common courtesy is to tell her that you have a child on the way and you will alleviate any issues. This is what I told Marcus Antoine Phillips Sr. before he did that fuck shit to my son Marcus. And it was literally, I didn't feel she was too vindictive, but it was just like one of those, when Missy had to come to the funeral for my son, she had to realize like, this is Marcus. Yeah, that's Marcus. That's the state that Big Marcus put that little boy in for the sake to try to save a fucking relationship with his old sweet Jamaican Nikki, right? Which is Nikki is the one who I was like, oh, that bitch is, Jamaican. And I kept hearing the name Destiny, Destiny. That her daughter's name was Destiny at that time. So I was like, so you went to damn near almost kill my motherfucking son to appease a bitch. That's why I said, that's why the fuck I don't fucking feel bad about, oh, well, if we had to do DNA tests about if it's his baby or not, or whatever the case may be, and his mama slipped up not knowing she mentioned the girl's name. So it always said in the back of my motherfucking head that this nigga was doing that, but then also trying to take advantage of the situation to utilize it in court, which it was those two in the other part of the background. When James got whiff of that, because of course ain't shit going on in fucking Fort Campbell or Clarksville, Tennessee, that Regina nosy ass wasn't gonna know about, that she knew that she could take a money opportunity up off of that. James too, and it's like, oh, he part of that. So, he was willing to go ahead because he wanted to, cross dress and, act real girly and be a little twink at that time. And like this is one of those shit where I was just trying to figure out what's the source of this. Why would they be going so hard to use my picture and still creating these profiles? So James was like, I'm a dirty motherfucking shit. And he tried to use it as third person. And I started to learn whenever how his lie was going that he was talking about himself. And he was like, yeah, I'll be the dirty motherfucker where motherfuckers give me the pictures and the evidence and shit. And I'll make a page on them shit. If I don't make the page, I'll get my brother or sister or somebody to make a page about them and put their little pictures on there and have them have conversation with other people and pretend like, cause mind you, they ain't gonna know that another page is of them if they ain't on that social media platform. And I was like, what? I was like, James, that's messy. He was like, oh, no, that was another friend of mine. But he didn't realize that I already caught on to the fact that anytime that he was looking to keep the heat off of him, he would use any person that was like he felt was close to him, but wasn't close to him. But I had an idea of who they were, or I've been around them before. So I knew that he did it. He'll be saying other people's names, but he would really be the one that did it shit. That was even like as far as like that boy Victor, he set that boy up because Victor was probably gonna sit there like, damn, James, you actually got a better life. You doing better with things and stuff like that. Because the way he acted like he wanted to cry and shit like that, I was like, I ain't ever seen no fucking grown ass man cry this motherfucking hard about some shit. But it was like somebody was gonna tell something. So if he didn't do it, his mama did it. Because it's like shit. I'll be damned that you gonna tell that damn girl about this and you gonna fuck up our money plans and what the fuck we got going on. And that's when they got real adamant trying to bring in the sister. And it's like, oh, you got Marcus. And Marcus get what? And Marcus need what? Like she will always be like, well, you can do this with Marcus, and it's like, bitch, let me do the shit that I need to do on my own time and quit trying to, calculate what type of money he getting to calculate into your fucking money. That's how I knew them two was a little ultimate fucking duo to do this shit. She could go ahead and force Jasmine to do whatever the fuck it is because she felt like, oh, I gotta please my mom. And I was like, y'all just some weak-minded ass motherfuckers, and y'all let this bitch sit there and hover certain shit over y'all head, not knowing that y'all like and shit. Let me get the fucking hold to her, the bitch wouldn't be living currently. And then it was just like, well, what about your family and stuff like that? Where that's when she was trying to move the heat from them to go put it back on Sheila and them. And that's when I was like, but why would Sheila be so adamant to want to work back with Regina? Because it was like, well, shit, if y'all gonna sit here and try to play sides and shit like this, I was like, well, shit, let me see who gonna take out who first. And what you say, Regina? Oh, okay, okay. So when I would go home and she was like, see, you thinking you mad and shit. I had told you about them. I had told you that the motherfuckers weren't no good. But I was like, Mom, but she was the one telling me not to ever talk to you. She was the one that said da 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 da. So of course, right now, these motherfuckers wanted to work together, but them not realizing I was like, shit, you bit vindictive, but they got a little bit more pull to you. But it was like, I'm not gonna tell their ass this because I was like, shit, truth be told, I knew when everything started going up in motherfucking flames, it was literally gonna be the battles of who gonna take who out fucking first. So I ain't never fucking be fucking concerned because I knew exactly what the fuck I was doing. Cause I was like, I'm gonna get the truth one way or another, whether fucking blood or not was gonna be motherfucking shed. Y'all was gonna tell on one of the motherfucking another. And it was just like, oh. So when he get mad, I was like, James would swear up and down, I can't stand that family. Da, 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 da. Qualities would start showing. I'd be like, oh, really? Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna call your mama. I'm gonna do this. Okay. And then it was like, I remember on his social media, he didn't know because it was either Soraya, it had to be Soraya. Nina wasn't too versed on everybody's faces, but Raya knew the faces more. And then I want to say at this time, Baby James would be a very avid player on the phone because they knew keep him calm. You got to get him to sit still, play on the phone. He playing on the phone. He come upstairs with the phone or whatever. James on the video game, but it's like I don't know what clicked in his head, but he kind of like panicked. But before he came up there, I want to say I had like a good ass 2 minutes before I gave the phone to him. I'm seeing the conversation scroll between him and Kiera, but I didn't have a chance to like go grab my phone and take a picture. I was like, these motherfuckers sat there and I already had the plot about how Kiera was gonna send the other pictures and stuff like that, and was asking him did he still have the videos of how he'd been recording me whenever I was asleep, and did he still have the stuff from when we stayed? I think it was 2020. I think it's 21, 22 Whitfield Drive, whatever, over there by where his granddaddy stayed. And it was like some times where we'll get drunk, and I also still have my apartment in Tiny Town. She was like, "You still got those videos too?" And then we had an apartment on Ashland off of Riverside. And she kept asking, "Do you still got the videos?" And it was like she think I deleted them all. That was the only parts that I could remember at that time. But it was like, okay, sure, what you gonna do with this information? But I knew I was like, I got to get the fuck rid of them, because I was like, if I didn't get that man out of my motherfucking sight, it was gonna be a funeral for him, Jasmine, whoever the fuck else came. Cause I was like so adamant. That's why I left. It was just like, if for me to have to feel like I gotta get there, boom. But then I also discovered the gay site and the bisexual site that he was on in because the men and sugar daddies and shit that he was doing, I had discovered the page that he had made off of this other girl that was into, doing that dominatrix, all that weird shit. And I found a page, but I couldn't, it didn't have her picture on it. It was just showing like, a little logo and shit like that. But when I say it was like, at that time, I want to say they only had like 42 people on there. And then when I glimpsed at it again before I had really just found out that he wanted to do like cross dress and transgender whenever he was with these men, he wasn't pitching shit. Trust and believe me, I knew that motherfucker wasn't pitching out a motherfucking thing. That's how I figured out he was fucking with a lot of more of the men over there in Canyon Oak, but he was fucking with Trevante at the same time. Cause it was like, oh yeah, I was like, let's did some digging on Trevante real quick. She's like, girl, yeah, these men be liking some stuff. I was like, what you talking about, girl? And of course, she had a girlfriend before she started, being with men. But she was like, yeah, some of these men like to do be in this and this and this. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. Here I am like, oh, okay, I can't clutch my pearls, but it's like, oh, okay. So when I got the whiff of all that, this is how I know it was a fucking pattern after him. Any person that was coming after him, even down to Michael Lawrence Alexander, he had this motherfucking eye for me since we was in Afghanistan. But mind you, I had already got a whiff to something, but I was like, why would you be sitting here trying to fuck with me when you was fucking with Zandra? But one thing for sure and two things for certain of, it was like it was either money, something he was getting out of, or something he was planning to do with the rest of the crew, which either he recorded me without my consent or did some shit without my motherfucking consent whenever I would go to his apartment over there off of Main Street. And he had this. I was like, well, why you mess with Sarah? He was like, because she's slow and I can get whatever I want with her, because shit, I was telling her I want this motorcycle, and instead of spending my money, and I already got to send this money back to, my other two baby mamas and all this other shit. I was like, oh, damn, so you're a user. But it was just like, well, shit. I mean, what is it that you have to offer other than that? But he ended up catching feelings or whatever, and then it was like it fucked him up, because it's like, why the fuck would you fuck me over when I knew you longer than this shit? But then it was like it dawned on me the time that he was supposed to come help me leave, because I was trying to leave way before I had told James about the date that I was leaving, because I knew every time it was time for me to leave, he was slicing my tires, he was sitting there, bust out my windows. He would try to break, cut my fucking brakes and shit like that. Like, he'll do ornery shit every time I was trying to leave from fucking Colorado. And when it was time for me to go, Mike was like, look, I'll drive, I'll fly, or whatever, come over there and help you so you don't have to, tote all the kids and, pack it up. And then it was just like, something just clicked on me. It's like, shoot, if you don't leave this motherfucker right now, you're going to be dealing with way more bigger problems. And I just remember I left dead in the middle of the night. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. Packed my shit and I did. And when Mike started doing that shit, I was like, yeah, this nigga's involved in some shape, form, or fashion. But then that's when I realized, I was like, what else some shit you into? I want to say right before it was leaving, that's when whoever he had some shit going on with, it was something about a transsexual that ended up outing him on Facebook. But it was from one of James fucking Cruz. Because I was like, wait a minute, I remember seeing this big ass fat boy on James shit. That's when I was like connecting the dots and shit like this. And I was like, these motherfuckers is doing some shit. But then it was just like, as Kiara would get further and further away, want to get quiet and quiet, it will be certain dudes that would approach me and say some shit like, yeah, I saw your profile. I heard what all that shit you was talking. I'm here right now. And I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, you here right now? And that's when I realized it's like, and I just have to go along because I'm just trying to figure out, like, so how you met me? How you knew me? You've been talking to me for, the last 3 days talking about you was gonna do all this shit with me. And I was like, oh really? I said this? I was like, and then when I started to ask them, well, what was I asking you, and where is this, other information coming from? Because mind you, they wouldn't ever fucking mention that I was in the military, that I was a veteran, none of this shit. They would not ever fucking mention none of this shit to these fucking people. So they were always under this fucking assumption that I was literally out here loose goose for the streets. I ain't have no other fucking career going on in my fucking life, none of this shit. And that's when I was just like, all right, Shrita, well, at this point, it's a pattern. So you just got to be mindful of how certain things are coming, especially when it came to being online. I knew I had to be very cautious of that. But then I didn't, you don't ever expect to have to be cautious. Like shit, if you're just randomly out and about, just having fun or whatever, you're not gonna ever fucking thinking in your fucking mind until it happened the second time that a person you meet from a fucking grocery store or a gas station was a fucking person that had you, that said that they knew you or seen you before on something else. Because it would literally, when I would just talk to these people, run into them at grocery stores, gas stations and stuff like that, and it's like, I swear I know you before, I swear I seen you before. And it's like, I remember one guy was fucking bold enough, he was like, do you have OnlyFans? It's like, hell no, I got no motherfucking OnlyFans. I said, do I look like I have OnlyFans? No, you look like somebody that, I seen across there or whatever the case may be. I was like, oh, really? And then I was like, Shrita, just keep it to yourself. Don't say nothing. But then, this is what was the giveaway. Sheila would get mad, like, especially when I started dating the last dude that I met from the gas station at that point. That's why I was like, I ain't taking motherfuckers people's numbers. I ain't taking these people serious. It'll be motherfuckers like, yeah, I really like you. Other than like, whenever a person is super like that, that's right there is my motherfucking indication to know for fucking sure. These men already spotted me. They already had me on a fucking radar. And 3 is one of those that play like, oh, I'm doing DoorDash, or I seen this, and I just thought you was just so beautiful. It's like, no, motherfucker, you just thought I was an easy lick. Get the fuck out of my face. But I will take your motherfucking information just in case if y'all fucking around with my time and your ass get locked the fuck up. But this last motherfucker, he would be like, yeah, I want this quick money, because it was like he was so eager to, with wanting to get money. And I was just trying to show him. But it was like at the same time, that shit'll get tiring, because it's like, shit, I'm not dating a person. I'm like taking on another fucking challenge. I'm not trying to be no man's fucking mommy. So it was just like, I've always, was looking for better ways for him to think better. Like, okay, I know you accustomed to that lifestyle with whatever fucking females you used to dealing with, which looking at his baby mama, she was okay with doing, dirty tags and shit like that. She was okay with doing scamming, doing the setup girls, going to the hotels. But then it was just like, it dawned on me. I was like, whoever it is, even if it came to Courtney and Kiera and them, is really giving, where he got so caught up in the lifestyle, where it's like you can get caught up in them fantasies, and the Kiera and them, Kiera, Tiara, Courtney, Carmelita, all them, and all they little friends and shit like that, alike. And the 304s and shit like that, they get down like that. And I saw the piece of what the fuck they was doing. I was like, somebody got that, they'll sit there and swallow your whole for a little bit. But it was like literally somebody, one of the places or something that there was written out. But it was like they into that, they like vector shit, whatever. But it was like them saying, well, shit, did you get the information this week? And go ahead and send out and make the other page and have a conversation with certain people so we can go ahead and draw them in and get the money. Like, I seen the whole fucking setup plan. I was like, yeah, that's usually how it go. I seen where they'll do that shit a long time ago. But like I said, anything that they doing right now, they just do it via internet, but it's the same shit that they used to do back in the day. So I'm like, the times that he knew I was there, he knew where I kept the papers at, because I was like, the only way that he would have got away with just really, really just getting all of this shit in hand was when I went to Dominican Republic. And I was like, whoever was the fucking people he had in my house, and he knew he shouldn't have had nobody in my motherfucking house. And he was taking that shit, and whatever the female was that he brought to my house in Puerto Rico, talking about, oh, it was just some friends. It was always just some fucking friends, knowing it was fucking people trying to come over there and use the Social Security. So I was like, dude, like, do you realize like how many fucking people did this shit? So every time that it's certain behaviors that they will tell them to do, how they have to follow the instructions, what behavior they're supposed to do. Like, well, she got a high sex drive or whatever, so you know what I'm saying, just only give her to her once and act like you tired and you just can't do anything. I was like, shit, this is a repeated pattern. James will do the same shit. Lewis did the same shit. All the motherfuckers did the same. So it was like I was like, bro, you ain't doing shit. And then if it's like you swearing up and down that you got this drive, I was like, why? And you sitting there feeling like you ain't efficient enough, motherfucker. Why the fuck would I bother with your ass if you just 2 minute Dan? Get the fuck out of my face, bruh. And then in the fact that now that I like, he didn't realize the more that he kept doing certain shit, I'm testing him while he's sitting here thinking, oh, she gullible. Nah, nigga, you keep playing with me and you gonna feel like this is the worst thing in motherfucking life in your history that you ever fucking did. And nigga, if I gotta come for you and your whole fucking soul and bloodline, nigga, that'll be one of those things where I will wipe out anything of your fucking existence. It's only so many times that a person's gonna sit there and keep taking this shit. And the fact that you sitting here thinking, oh, I'm gonna lay up with her and talk about her behind her back, nigga, you wasn't the first, but you damn sure fit to be the last motherfucker to ever do this shit. And I promise, and it's like, you keep playing with me, all right? And I used to always tell him, you better quit playing, because I'm not fucking playing with you. And he thought it was a joke. Now here the fuck we are, because now the motherfucking feds is sitting there like, oh shit. It's a strategic thing. And whenever they feel like it's a hit with certain women, and then they know that these people, these females, especially when it is either coming to life insurance or it's some type of big money they can get out of them. And 10 times out of 9, most people don't ever fucking realize it be y'all fucking mamas or y'all daddies or whoever the fuck you stay with, and then they real fucking money hungry. They gonna be willing to flip your ass just as quick as the rest of the motherfuckers. Trust and believe me. And that's why it was like, I used to always tell him, he was like, but why would you and your family be so hard with this shit? I was like, bro, all this shit is about fucking money. They know if they couldn't get the money, the only option left was to take my life so they can ride off that shit. They'd be like, ain't no way nobody family like that. And it's like, nigga, with the fact that you being so adamant to be against it, you will be a nigga that if some shit happened to your ass, you wouldn't even have a chance to fucking crash out. They would literally take your bitch ass life because you're so fucking trusting. My family wouldn't do that, nigga. Your family would do that shit. Because it was like the moment that I was with that dude, and it's like I felt bad. And the only reason why I stuck around so fucking long, it was like, nigga, go back to school and go get your GED. I was the only person. I mean, your baby mama ain't tell you that. I mean, all these hoes wasn't telling you that. Like, get your knowledge up. So when you getting this knowledge up, I'm like, okay, you working at a job, you sitting here getting money, but I don't like to do it. It ain't about what you don't fucking like to do. Do you want the money or you want to keep motherfucking complaining? Like with me, he knew he could not do all that complaining shit. Whoa, that's me. That victim mentality, nigga. Either you gonna get that shit or quit fucking bitching. Because at that point, if you losing fucking money, that's on you. That's your mentality. Then why would you want? It's not about the why. Like, and it just got to a point where it's like, all right, Shorty, you gotta fucking ease your way off of it because you can care and have love for a person so fucking much, but it's like it was literally just watching a motherfucker like, nigga, you just want your life to go down the drain. You comfortable with this stupid shit, so I'm gonna let you do that. But off the strength that you feel like you hurting my feelings and you doing shit towards me, I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna throw some more motherfucking people out there just to see even if you even dumber than I thought you were. Because he was like, oh, gullible this. And he had the fucking thing, the audacity, and he was thinking he was hurting my feelings. But it was like every time he would say some fucking slick ass shit, I was fucking die laughing on the inside. I was like, okay. But I know how to push your buttons while you sitting here pushing mine. But shit, the right where I'm getting triggered, did you know who did this shit to my kid and who did it? That was the only thing that I really needed for him. Because it's like, nigga, either you want to take this fucking sentence or you gonna take this motherfucking sentence. One or the two. It ain't no motherfucking in between. Because either way it go, nigga, you're already in a fucking death trap. And where I'm looking to fucking save your ass before that shit even fucking go the fuck down, you gonna keep trying to play me and disrespect me, right? I wasn't worthy. I don't give a fuck about who you chose, because 10 times out of fucking 10, I don't give a fuck if the bitch do nails. I don't give a fuck if the bitch feel like she a model. She's still a thought, because she's not going to ever rise up more than what the fuck she's at. And it's, oh, well, she was on the TV show, or, Me Fata La Gana. Well, that was her mama, not her. You see what I'm saying? And then it was like, them bitches really just thought they had some shit going. I was like, bitch, you still can't read. You don't look educated. You barely look like you can write. Your shit, you look like your fucking penmanship look like somebody in the motherfucking third grade. And these will be people that he will feel like in his heart that he running back to and Kiki and Kaka when I'm really like, well, shit, isn't it be Twiddledee and Twiddle motherfucking dumb with the fucking audacity to sit here fucking laughing, right? Then it's like I'm having to look like, nigga, if you keep playing with me, but my mama, but your mama was the same one, nigga, where I stood with you in the fucking on the motherfucking phone, where you kept me on the motherfucking phone when you was like, yeah, mom, well, I just need to be able to get to the computer so I can be able to focus on my GED. Well, why you need to focus on your GED when you need to be getting a job? Nigga, you gonna take that? That's at that point I was like, this nigga ain't got no backbone. He ain't got no 2 feet to stand on. And everything that you sitting there telling this fucking woman positive about what you could be doing with your life, she's shooting you down. But God forbid, when your auntie Monica come, she'll sit there feeling that story right before you come walk in the door, like, oh no, he don't want to do right, he don't want to listen. Miss Marie, don't be talking about your son like that. Like, I'm trying to make sure he get on there so he can do fucking better, so he can actually feel like he being proud of himself first, but he too busy trying to make his whole fucking family fucking proud versus his fucking self. That shit irritated the fuck out of me. That will break your heart. Whatever you got love for a person, it's like, I just want you to do better. I don't want you to feel like you the only thing that you got with your motherfucking self is to think that you was in fucking prison and jail and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, these are your friends? It'll be like certain people he'll bring me around. I'm like, so these are your friends? Oh, okay. So I can see how easy it is that whoever the fuck he was listening to, thinking like, oh, get them to act like this. That's how you know they love you. These are motherfuckers that wouldn't know fucking love from a fucking can of paint. They thinking a bitch fussing at them whenever they get caught up sleeping and geeking with another motherfucker doing that. But it was also you giving me the lifestyle that they was giving you, stealing, lying, the drugs and scamming and shit. Well, I'm gonna put you on to my people, and this is what we do. But you didn't realize that what they doing is to have power over you. He didn't realize that shit. That's how I knew. I was like, shit, I love my little stupid head. But then it was like, at the same time, it was just like, you know what? If he don't want to be under a motherfucking wing and be fucking covered, and if he want to sit there, like, he will laugh about it. It'll be at times where it'll be like, just let me hold you, let me pray over you, because it feel like you just need that love. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in, regardless, it's a higher power, but you can always speak words of encouragement over a man, especially when he's hurting in a broken place. Like, I was willing to be so fucking understanding. Like, it broke my motherfucking heart, because it was like, bro, it's something bigger and better to you, and for you to do the shit that I know you fucking doing towards me, it was just like, Sharita, you're gonna hurt this man. And it's not the type of hurt that he think it is, because it's like he feeling like just because he had access to me like this, it was like, nigga, he seen that I had that fucking piece right there, and he's like, oh, she ain't gonna do nothing to me, nigga. It took everything in me not to just sit there and put that gun right to the fucking nightstand and sit there and ride you and blow your motherfucking head off. I had that thought already, because I knew as soon as he was bringing the shit, because it was like, when I say I was sick to the fucking core. Like, I was gonna walk to the store, go get me something to drink or whatever. But it was like one of those, I was sick, but then it was just like, it was one of those passing things. And he was like, oh, I wanted you, like, you sick enough to get it or whatever. But it was just like, Sharita, it was just clicking in my head. This nigga told you one more motherfucking lie. But with the lie, the disrespect, as we doing this, you pick up the phone, and then you gonna pull it, and I'm hearing the voice, and I knew who the voice was, and I'm sitting here like, let this nigga leave. Speak your piece, because if not, this nigga fit to get a fucking 2 bullets to his motherfucking head. I'ma let him get back to his motherfucking family. Because then at that point, it was like, oh, right above the computer. I was like, computer. Like, you know how, like, well, I can't say everybody brain, but my brain was going straight to, this nigga then took your information. He done gave it to a motherfucker. He already spent the bag. He already got paid off from your folks. I'm 100% sure all the shit that he kept bringing to me. I know you was talking to these people. Da, 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 da. I'm like, who am I talking to? He was like, yeah, on Facebook, on Instagram. Like, unbeknownst to him, I'm just letting him run off with it. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, what platforms? Oh, Facebook? Oh, dating apps. Oh, okay. And it was what else? Okay. That at that point, every fucking person that he was dealing with at that time, it had allowed me to know these motherfuckers was using my motherfucking page. They was doing all the same shit that I felt. Then, me sitting there having to go all the way back to who was around, that allowed me to know that those pictures from all the way in 2005, 2006, nigga, you had it. And right there and then it was like, bingo. But I was like, it's only down to the motherfucking core of the nitty gritty for these fucking people to figure out exactly. And it's not about what he did, because it's like, shit, all of that is money scam. Because when he had kept showing me, like, yeah, I'm trying to get, all these motherfuckers that was doing that Pokemon shit, and I would hear them talking about that shit at Affinity Academy. I was like, oh, so y'all motherfuckers definitely a part of this shit. Like, I ain't need them to tell me that they was involved in the shit that had to do with me. But the thing of it was, where he fucked up at, I was like, but why are you using my information? It's like, look, I'm giving you mercy to just understand, like, get rid of that shit or figure out how you get your own LLC. Do not use my information. Like, I told him, don't use my information. You need to delete those pictures. Like, whenever he had this thing where he wanted to get, a little rub or get a little something, he'll send a video of me that he recorded without my motherfucking consent again. Be like, I want that. And it's like, motherfucker, this shit don't work like that. You need to delete this shit, because that is a fucking sex crime. All it takes is for me to go ahead and put that away. You really, nigga, if I really got to get to it and you really keep trying to do me motherfucking dirty, I promise you, your ass will be on the sex registry quicker than your motherfucking head can spin. Fucking with me. And then any fucking body else that you felt that you was talking shit on and they participated, I will sue they motherfucking ass for defamation and carry, nigga. When I say I'll come for anybody, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I ain't never had no mama. I ain't had no. I ain't ever had nobody in my motherfucking soul or my life to ever fucking protect me, look out for me, that did not try to do something for a fucking benefit for themselves. It was the same thing with, like, I was so fucking, when I say beyond disappointing, like Veronica, it was like, shit, I could chop that up. Bitch is who she is. But Tamisha is like, oh, you took the step back just to keep a motherfucking job like this? Cool, shorty, bet that. I would never talk to none of these motherfuckers ever again. Ever. Like, I have no desire to know where they at, what they doing, none of that shit. None of it. But it was just like, for that nigga to do that, and it was like, bro, I'm really just doing my best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you can sit there, like, I got the love for y'all motherfuckers, because it's like, I can get it. You know what I'm saying? It's the way y'all motherfucking living. You ain't gotta live like that. And it's a chance for people to actually get their life back on order. But then it was just like, it's bitches like Eileen Diaz. It's motherfuckers like all these other fucking females, and you send niggas back years on their motherfucking life, causing them to do fuck shit that they ain't got no business doing. That's the shit that I was like, nigga, you sitting there calling me a devil, a demon, a witch and shit like that, nigga, your whole fucking family, son. And if they knew your ass was doing the shit and you doing the shit with these bitches, what the fuck make you think that they wasn't gonna do that shit to you to keep you on a fucking leash when I was looking literally to break you out? Like, nigga, you didn't even have to fucking be with me, but shit, at least I knew you broke free from some fuck shit. But shit, if you want to be falling and stay falling, motherfucking, now you gonna be sitting there singing that goddamn DMX song. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. You know I'm slipping, I'm falling. Yeah, nigga, you just gonna be slipping and motherfucking falling. Okay, this is not the AARP motherfucking commercial, but goddamn, it's gonna definitely fucking feel like that. But how everybody did it, it's like, shit. I know how it was doing it, how it was done, who did it, why. But this was, I was like, motherfucker, you gonna be the last motherfucker to pull that shit. That's why any person that's coming at this goddamn time is just like, and then they just super like, oh my god, and oh my gosh, and then nigga, I'm not interested with any fucking body. These are like motherfuckers that do not process in their head. Like, I'm gonna keep telling you no, 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 no. Can I take you to dinner? Hell no. Can I have your number? No. Can I take, no? You can't do none of that shit. My bank account ain't looking how I like my fucking bank account looking. I'm not giving no fucking man no time of day. I'm not looking for no fucking man to be fucking codependent on the fuck. And then it's like I'm smart enough and got decent fucking courtesy to know anytime that certain men feel like they giving you fucking money, those will be fucking men that want to fucking control you. That's why I don't believe in fucking dating no fucking man that's sitting there. I don't give a fuck if he come from a millionaire fucking family, just come for money. I don't want you, sir. Sorry, not sorry. Cause I'll be damn, I've been seen it happen time and time again where these motherfuckers, when these certain men and even women too, they come for fucking money and they do certain shit, and then it's like, cause somebody had this bright idea, like, yeah, well, why don't you sit there and you go talk to her and act like you want to invest in her business and invest and start this business with her. Like, I already knew how that shit was gonna plan out, because it was like, instead of them giving me back my shit and giving me motherfucking justice in court, I was like, they still sitting here thinking the fucking prophecy is a joke. Any fucking body that sat there, fucked on my name, played on my name, stole from me, didn't give something back, I don't give a fuck if you a judge, lawyer, police officer, dirty cop, sheriff, CEO, OBGYN, anesthesiast, the prophecy still fucking stand. A life for a motherfucking life. You came for my life in the worst way. And then you came over here coming for me. Y'all want to stalk, harass psychiatrists, psychologists included. Y'all motherfucking kids included. I don't give a fuck about you being pregnant, having a kid, a new. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. At this point in time, payback's a bitch, karma's a bitch, and revenge is a motherfucker. So I ain't even gotta fucking talk to you. I ain't gotta touch you. It ain't shit. It's just you get what the fuck you reap what you sow, right? That these be motherfuckers wanna, you reap what you sow. That's their karma. That's their karma. But it's man-made shit. Karma is not man-made. Karma is a motherfucking shit where it happens supernatural, out of the air. It ain't nobody you could really pinpoint to say they did this, but you ain't gonna be able to do none of this shit. When all this shit is said and done, y'all not gonna be able to do none of that at all. So that's why I'm like, the biggest part of it is certain motherfuckers that feel like they got people working with them, and really low key these motherfuckers really working against them. And I guarantee you, like I said, these private investigators, these FBI, these other people are probably, I can guarantee you, these motherfuckers watching, even governors, senators, and all these motherfuckers, how they moving. Oh, y'all still don't want me to show up to court. Y'all still don't want to give me back my money, right? The Veterans Affairs still don't want to do their motherfucking job, right? I'm telling you right now, it's some motherfucking people that is grabbing information on these motherfuckers and really seeing how the fuck they move behind closed doors. And I'm telling you, the governor playing and everybody playing, I'm telling you, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna leak something to their ass. If they don't leak it via the black web first, and it gets like an alert, because when it's government official, it gets leaked on the black web, the governor and the mayor would get it first. Nobody else would get it, the governor and the mayor. But depending on how deep confirmation, how deep this shit is, it's going to be leaked to the governor. It's going to be leaked to the mayor. And it's going to be leaked to like a police department. It's going to be leaked to some underground motherfucking world. And then it's like, that's going to be the first warning. They don't take heed to that fucking first warning. I feel like somebody going to leak that shit and put it on a news run worldwide. And I was like, yeah. And it ain't World Wide Web. It's worldwide shit. It's gonna actually be World Wide Web and on fucking television. And I'm getting like that shit gonna leak from fucking CNN. And with all the shit that they've been doing towards me, whether these will be motherfuckers. We're not racist and da 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 da. Okay, you're not. I guarantee I'll probably be the biggest motherfucking case in fucking history with the shit that they've been doing, who they've been signing off on. And I was like, once they start leaking them, and this is going to be the people that doctors, lawyers, Mason lodges and shit like that, how they feel like that they ain't involved, they going to be leaking to every single last one of these motherfuckers. And I'm talking about they starting from the top versus the bottom, because the motherfuckers in the bottom is gonna be like, it's gonna be certain ones at the bottom that probably did even more dirty shit, so they gonna be doing them bottom motherfuckers that was doing the dirtiest shit, and then it's like literally gonna be connecting the bottom motherfuckers that they swear ain't nothing. It's gonna be showing that the ain't nothing motherfuckers was fucking up with these upper motherfuckers, and whatever videos and recordings that they got of these it's literally motherfuckers getting caught with their pants down. And it's gonna be literally where I can see somebody was laying in the bed understand why a female or another man sitting there giving them fellatio, and I just see somebody lift up the color like, oh, that's what you're doing? Oh, okay, carry on. And they try to walk around the house like they, ain't see nothing else. I was like, these are motherfucking people with low self-esteem and all this other shit and be claiming, oh, I'm pretty, I'm this, but you degraded yourself to sit there and see your own person watching you do this shit. But it's like, are you getting paid for it or you not? And it's one of those like, oh, we just feel like having fun. I brought my homeboy over. You gonna do that? You gonna do that? And somebody like, oh shit, I didn't know it got that deep. It got that deep. But that's just what it is. Whatever. Carry on. Fuck you. Bye.